In this tutorial, we will have a look at how to complete the daily store reports. This is part 1, which will be the overview, the daily targets and achieved tab, as well as the day end report tab. Each store will receive the daily stores report for the month by the 25th of the previous month from the relevant area manager. For example, on the 25th of February, the March file is to be sent to each store. The 25th of March, the April file is to be sent out, and so on. Should a store not receive this file from the area manager by close of business on the 25th of any month, you are to send an email to the area manager requesting the file no later than 10:30 on the morning of the 26th of any given month. This file will be sent via email. Once the email with your new month's file has been received, double-click on the attachment to open the file. Now, save the file immediately before doing anything else. This is an important step to be done so that one file is used for the whole month by all store management, and also that it is filed in the same place every month for everybody to find easily. The daily store reports are to be saved in the operations folder on the desktop. Please note that all through this tutorial, click is the left click of the mouse unless otherwise noted. To save the file, click on the taskbar at the top. The top left-hand corner is the file. Click Save As. Ensure that the desktop is the destination where the file will be saved. Do this by left-clicking on Computer once, and in the right-hand column, click on Desktop. Find the Operations folder, double-click to open. Find the Daily Stores Report folder, double-click to open. And then double-click on the appropriate year folder, in this case 2016. Now look at the file name down here at the bottom. It says Copy of Daily Stores Report, Colonnade, March 16. You do not just want to save at this point. Instead, change the name. And to change the name, you're going to take out Copy of. Click just before the capital C of copy and delete COPY space OF space so that you are left with Daily Stores Report Colonnade March 16. Only now do you click Save. Please take careful note of the naming of this file. This is the company standard and no other version will be accepted. Now let us have a look at what the daily store report consists of before we head straight into completing it. In this file there are 3 tabs. The first one is the daily targets and achieved, and this replaces both the target sheet sent out by area managers previously as well as the daily target sheet that was prepared by store management each evening and attached to the day end email. This sheet is protected, so if you do try and enter any information on a protected cell, the error message will pop up. Just click on OK or press Escape on the keyboard. What is highlighted in light green and light pink is for the area managers to fill in preparation for the next month's trade. What is highlighted in light yellow is to be filled in by store management on a daily basis at the end of the shift once cash ups have been done. The second tab is the day end report tab, and it replaces the templates previously used. The only sections that have to be completed by store management are highlighted in light yellow, where information is to be typed in, and the aqua cells, where there is a drop-down box to choose from. Information relating to the turnovers, transactions and ATVs, as well as the variances for both the day and the month to date, are all automatic with formulas based on the daily targets and achieve tab. This is to stop the finger errors that have been prevalent in the past, as well as to save the store management time in completing the day-end report. This tab is also protected to avoid formulas, etc. being overwritten. The third tab in this report is the morning report, and as with the day-end report, this sheet is protected to avoid formulas being overwritten. It also replaces all templates previously used. The only sections that have to be completed by store management are highlighted in yellow, which have to be typed in, and the aqua, where there are drop-down boxes to choose from. All information relating to the turnovers, transactions, ATVs, as well as the variances are all automatic and are based on formulas pulling from the daily targets and achieve tab. This is again to stop finger errors that have been prevalent in the past and mainly to save the store management time. This template with all three reports incorporated into one file has been created to make life a lot easier for the store management when completing the required reports at store level, in that all three reports are in one place. Information only has to be entered once, which will save time, and the window for errors is narrowed down. Let us go back to the daily targets and achieved tab. The reason why stores will receive the file about a week before the start of the new month is so that the store managers can plan for the next month. The turnover target is set, the number of transactions is set, as well as the ATV. So you will know exactly what the expectations are for the store well in advance and get your team motivated to achieve targets. There are accumulative totals for both transactions and turnover. Once information is filled in as the month progresses, the cumulative total will also show for transactions, turnovers, and ATVs, both for actual achieved and variance actual to target. This is so that the store management can see exactly where the store stands regarding actual achieved results versus targeted results, both on a daily basis as well as a month-to-date basis. Now let's close this file. Click on the X in the top right-hand corner, and when you get this pop-up message, always click on Save. We are now going to enter information as if it were the day end at a specific day. For the purpose of this and tutorials to follow, we will work as if today is the 20th of January 2016. When does the daily targets and achieved get filled in? At day end, once the cash ups have been completed. Open the daily stores report file for the appropriate month. On the desktop, find the operations folder, double-click to open. Find the daily store reports folder, double-click to open. And then double-click on the appropriate year to open, and double-click on the appropriate file to open. So for this example, it's going to be Daily Target Store Reports, Colonnade, January 2016. Should you have this Enable Content warning coming up, just click on Enable Content. Right, step 1 to the Daily Targets and Achieve tab is to fill in the most senior manager on duty. And as the heading of the column states, this is where the most senior manager on duty is entered. That is the store manager if the store manager worked on that day, the assistant store manager if the store manager was off, sick, or on leave. In this example, Pretty Sue is the store manager and Billy Bob is the assistant store manager. So on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of January, the store manager was on duty. On the 5th and the 6th, the store manager was off and the assistant manager was on duty. And so you can see for the rest of the days completed. The only time that the CRA grade A will be noted as the most senior manager on duty is if there is either no store manager employed for the store, or if the store manager is on leave and the assistant store manager is off. So for the 20th of January, ensure that the correct cell is selected. In this example, it will be row 30 and column G. And for this day, Pretty Sue, the store manager, was on duty, along with Billy Bob, the assistant store manager. The CRA grade A was off. Who is the most senior manager on duty? Pretty Sue, the store manager. We will type in Pretty Sue with a capital P, R-E-T-T-Y, space capital S-U-E. Any other format, such as all lowercase Pretty Sue, is not accepted, nor are all caps Pretty Sue. The only format that will be accepted is what is typed in at the moment. Step 2 is to enter in the number of transactions achieved for the day. Ensure that you have selected the correct cell, and in this example, again, it will be row 30, but it will now be column H. And this is as per the net sales summary report for the relevant day. On the report section of the RMS program, select the appropriate day and net sales summary. Click on Show. On the top bar of the report, the number of transactions for the day is noted. So for the 20th of January 2016, the number of transactions was 65. Also note the turnover or sales figure. So for this day, it was 13,769 Rand and 85 cents. Now go back to your daily store reports file, and in cell H30, type in the number 65 for the number of transactions. Now move to the cell where the daily sales is to be entered. And in this example, it will again be row 30, but column J for the number of daily sales achieved. And this again is as per the net sales summary report for the relevant day, which is found on the report section of the RMS program. The same report is for the transactions, which has already been pulled and we noted. Now type in the sales figure for the day as 13,769.85. Do not use any other format such as Rand 13,769.85 or 13 space 769.85 or 13 comma 769.85. These are all incorrect. Should you use any other format besides the straight 13,769.85, the formulas will not calculate in the following tabs. And that is it. That's all that has to be done on the daily targets and achieved file. Notice how on the 20th of January, how close Colonnade was to target. They missed the targeted transactions by 5, and month to date is 122 off target. For the day, there were 2,330 Rand off target, and month to date is 70,000 Rand. And they are 18.16 off ATV target or the benchmark. Now let us click on to the Day End Report tab. This tab has to be checked after the cash ups have been done for the day so that all the information is entered in correctly. Some of the tables on this tab can be entered before the day end though. As noted before, you only enter in the cells that are shaded in light yellow or in aqua. Work through this report systematically to ensure that all the requirements are completed. So in the completed by, this can be entered in before the cash ups are done. And this is the person who completes the report. So keeping with the example for the day for this particular store, it would be the store manager or the assistant store manager. Let's say that the assistant store manager was working till 6:15 and the store manager was scheduled to leave at 5:15. So Billy Bob, the assistant store manager, would be the person compiling the report. Any one of the store management team, that is the store manager, assistant store manager, or CRA grade A, could compile the day end report, but it remains the store manager's responsibility that day ends are completed in full and correctly. So store managers must check that day ends have been completed correctly when they return from their off days or sick days and address any errors with the relevant personnel. So for today, we will type in Billy Bob, and the same rule applies. All lowercase is not accepted. Or uppercase or capitals is not accepted. The correct format is capital B, O-B-B-Y in small, space, capital B, small o, small b. This is the only format that is accepted, as this is a company standard. Now we enter in the date. And this can also be done before the cash ups are completed. And this is the date of trade. In this case, the 20th of January 2016. And the format to use is either day/month or month/day, depending on the settings of the computer. Let us try month/day, which would be 01 for January /20 for the day. Notice how the date comes up as the 1st of January 2020. Obviously, this is incorrect. So for the settings of the computer where this example is being done, it's obviously day, month. So let's try enter in the day 20/ and the month 01, and it shows 20th of January 2016, which is correct. Notice how all the figures appear for the results for the day as well as for the month to date results, including the most senior manager on duty. There is no need to retype anything. That is why it is so important to enter the figures correctly on the daily targets and achieved tab and in the correct format too. Center updates and events in area. This can be entered as items are received or happen, but not during the time you are to be active on the floor. This section is to report any notices received from center management, happenings in the mall, good or not so good. If there is nothing to report, type in none. For this example, we will enter some information in. For example, received Easter trading hours from center management. Notice the format of the typing. Be professional and ensure that the spelling is correct. Let's use roof collapsed in corridor near Edgar's, nobody injured. Or Ripley's, believe it or not, exhibition started today. Now we go on to the repairs and maintenance issues. This again can be entered as the items are noticed, but again, not during the time that you are to be active on the floor. As this section states, report anything that has to be repaired in the store. If nothing is to be done, type in none. For this exercise, we will type in some examples, such as camera 6 on CCTV, not working, picture. Notice how I saw there was an error and I corrected it, rolling. Or for example, 6 fluorescent lights flickering. Or maybe we will say credit card machines not functioning, contacted Standard Bank, problem resolved. Under no circumstances are store personnel to arrange for any maintenance relating to electrical work, lights, broken units, broken doors or handles, plumbing, broken signage, damaged floors, flooding, or front doors to be done. It is the area manager's responsibility to arrange for this type of maintenance to be sorted out. Any issues relating with telebar or telephone to be handled by the area manager as well. Any IT related issues, that is anything to do with the CCTV, tills, back office computer, music system, the store management is to log a call on the Leonet fault reporting module. The only time that you phone Leonet is when the internet is down. All other times use the fault reporting module of Leonet. Any issues with the credit card machines to be reported and resolved by store management with Standard Bank. Now scroll down to the refund section. Refunds can be entered in as refunds are processed, but not during the time you are to be active on the floor. It is important to complete the section correctly and in full. If there are no refunds for the day, type in none. If there were refunds, you complete as follows. The invoice number, which is the original invoice for which the refund is being done. So in this case, it is INKL, notice that it's in capitals, and 0289810. Then the item code, which is the full code of the item returned, not just the crafter code or the number. So we would not just type in AAJ, and definitely not in lowercase, and it would also not be just the number 1121. The correct item code is AAJ 1121. Notice how AAJ is in capitals. The crafter code is to be in capitals. Now the amount. It is the price of the item or items returned. Again, only the number. So it's 139.90. No R, no spaces, no commas, only the full stop or dot between the rands and the cents. The item or items is the description of the item returned, again typed in both upper and lower case, not all lower, such as men's wallet, and not all capitals, men's wallet. The correct format to use is men's color wallet. The reason is a detailed reason why the item was returned, not just damaged. Where and how is it damaged? Again, look at the format of the typing. So we'll say zip, broken, coming apart, along the opening. But what is coming apart at the opening? Let's rather go and put the stitching coming apart along opening. That is a clear reason as to what's wrong with the item. The cashier is the name of the person who processed the refund. Again, the first letter capitals and the rest in lower case. Not all in lower and not all in caps. So we will say it is Jolly Joe in this instance. And the authorizer is the name of the store management who authorized the refund, which would be the store manager, the assistant store manager, or the CRA grade A. So let's say Billy Bob was a person who authorized this. Again, the capital, first letter capital, rest lower, Billy Bob. Now let's complete a second example. The invoice number, so IN in capital, KL in capital, and it's 028974 is the original invoice number, and we will say that it was BNT 7023 that was returned, and there are 4 of these. Space / space because there's another item that's returned, BNT, and it's 7018. So this is telling me that it is one item of BNT 7018 and there's 4 items of BNT 7023. If more items are returned on one invoice, you will have to fill in more rows. The amount was 119.60 and the item were mini studs bar 4 space / space and mini plain earrings. Very clear. BNT 7023 relates to the mini studs. There were 4 of them, and the BNT 7018 refers to the mini plain earrings. What was the reason for this? Received as gift, already had, and let's say in this example the customer, instead of taking the money, only bought another tie. So this way we know that she didn't just return it, she found something else that she liked. And we will say that Zippy Doo was a cashier and the person who authorized it was the store manager, Pretty Sue. Now scroll further down to the crafters who stocked up today. This can be entered as the crafters have stocked up or the private courier has arrived, but not during the time you're supposed to be active on this floor. If there were no crafters who stocked up for today, type in none. If there were, complete as follows. For the crafter's code, it must be in capitals, so we will say DPA. And a method. Because it is aqua, you will click on the down arrow and you will select either self or private courier. Self means that the crafter came in themselves to stock up. Private courier is not HP couriers. It is any other courier, such as a courier guy, DHL, and so on. So let's say DPA was self, and then we go to the time. And let's say this one was at 9:36 and it's typed in 09:36. Right? Number of boxes will only be completed if delivered by a private courier. So DPA delivered themselves, so we do not put the number of boxes. The reason for this is invariably you would not know how many boxes the crafter actually brings in. He normally has a trolley or a few items, and it's very difficult. So let's enter in some more information here. Let's say AKM came in, and he came in himself, and the time was at 2:05 in the afternoon. So we would type it in as 14:05, and again, because it was in himself, you do not type in the number of boxes. Then we will say that the crafter CNJ stocked up, but the stock arrived by private courier. What time did the private courier arrive? It arrived at 3:10. So we'll type it in as 15:10 for 3:10. And here we will enter in the number of boxes, and we'll say there were 2 boxes. Then we have a look at the crafters who joined for today. And it can be entered as soon as the crafters have arrived, but again, not while you're to be active on the floor. If there were no crafters who joined today, you enter in none. If I can get this right, none. But if crafters did join for today, this is how you would complete it. The crafter code would be in capitals, and we will say it's XYZ, and then this space occupied. Check your floor plan to see where the crafter is to be located in your store and what space the crafter is to occupy. Note that the crafter is to occupy only the space as allocated on the floor plan. If for some reason you cannot find this crafter on your floor plan, do not go into panic stations and never tell the crafter that you do not know where to place them. Call the craft manager to advise you. If you cannot get hold of him, call your area manager for assistance. So in this example, we're going to say that XYZ is to occupy a full inside unit. Again, notice the format of the typing. Then we have a look at the stock requests sent for today. Again, as soon as you have sent your stock requests, which should not happen during the time you should be on the floor, this is when you enter the table on the day end report. So again, if none were sent, you type in none. But if you did send some, this is the way you enter this information. So crafter code is to be in capitals, so we'll say it's ABC, enter, and CFZ we sent a stock request to, CTL, DTE, NAY, RGW, YZE, and ZNF. Notice how you complete it. Firstly, go down, and once that the rows are complete, you go to the next column. The crafters who left today block. This can be entered in as soon as crafters have taken stock or the stock has been packed up. but as with all the others, not during the time that you're to be active on the floor. If there were no crafters who removed their stock or left during the day, then you type in none. If there were, you complete as follows. As always, the crafter's code in capitals. In this case, we will say it was TTT. Space vacated is the space that the crafter was occupying. In this example, we will say it was half by a grid unit. Then the method. Because this is shaded in aqua, there is a drop-down list. So click on the down arrow and select the appropriate method. Collected self is as if the crafter came in themselves to pack up and take the stock themselves. Collected by another party, for example, a crafter's family member or private courier like DHL came to collect the stock. Stock packed up to go with courier. If instruction has been sent via email, either by the craft manager, stock controller, area manager, general manager, or the CEO, that is when this option is selected. Then other. If there was any other way that a crafter's stock was removed from the store, you would then select other. So we're going to say in this case, select collected self. Then we come to the time. This is where the time when the crafter or courier arrived or what time the stock was packed up. So let's say, for example, it was 3:45 in the afternoon. It would be entered in as 15:45 for 3:45. Authorized by. Under no circumstances are crafter stock to be removed from stores unless authorized by a senior manager. That is the craft manager, the craft coordinator, your area manager, the general manager, or the CEO. The cell is shaded in aqua, so use the drop-down box to select who authorized that the stock may be removed. And we'll say it was a craft manager in this case. If store management allow crafters to remove stock without getting authorization, the most senior manager on duty will be responsible for any debt that the crafter may owe the company, or if there is no cancellation, they will then pay for the rent loss to the company. So make sure you get authorization, and using the excuse that a crafter sneaked in to remove the stock will not be accepted. Now we will go down to the store personnel. This is to be entered at the day end. The names is to be in the following order: store manager, assistant store manager, CRA grade A, the CRA grade Bs, in the following order: first in, second in, third in, and last in. So for this example, let us say our store manager is Pretty Sue. The assistant store manager is Billy Bob. The CRA grade A is Smart Sam. The longest standing, or the CRA grade B who joined the earliest, was Jolly Joe. And then it was Zippy Doo. Oopsie, I've made a mistake here. Zippy Doo. And then we will say Ernest was the newest CRA grade B in the store. And there is no fourth CRA grade B. Note how the names are typed in. Capitals for the first letter of each name and lowercase for the rest. Then we're going to look at the actual time of arrival, actual leaving time, and the comments on the team member. These are not the scheduled times of arrival or scheduled time of leaving. It is actual. So for Pretty Sue for this day, she was scheduled to work from 8:30 to 4:15. So let's say she came to work at 8:12. So it's 08:12, and she left at 4:22. She was scheduled to leave at 4:15, but she left at 22 minutes past 4. So it's typed in 16:22. She worked according to schedule, no need for a comment. Then we had Billy Bob, was to work from 8:30 to 7:15 in the evening. But Billy Bob arrived at 8:45, which is 08:45, and he left at 7:25, which will be 19:25. But now Billy Bob did not arrive on time. We have to have a reason. And let's say there's quite an unacceptable reason of woke up late. Or you could say overslept, which neither one is a very good excuse, is it? Then we will say that Smart Sam, our CRA grade B, was off, so we type in off and off, but the comment we will stipulate here, and be very clear, it says scheduled day off. Don't just type in off, make sure you put the scheduled day off. Then we come to Jolly Joe. He was to work from 8:30 until 7:15. So we will type in his actual arrival time was 8:25. That's when he arrived. So it's 08:25. And he left along with the assistant manager, because we do not leave in relays. We leave at the same time at the end of the day. He left at 19:25. So he worked according to schedule, but the actual times are noted. Then we have a look at Zippy Doo. He's very diligent, and he arrived at 8:10, so it's 08:10, and he left at 7:25 with the rest of the team, 19:25. And then we will have a look at Ernest. And Ernest was supposed to work from 8:30 to 7:15, but Ernest did not pitch up to work, so he did not phone or anything like that. So we will type in absent, and we will say absent. But we want an explanation or a comment. We'll just put there not at work, did not phone, why not coming to work today. The comments are to be explicit and clear. Also note the format in which the comments are to be typed. The last block to complete on the day-end report is the senior management, area management, and admin personnel who visited your store. This can be entered once any of these personnel have left the store, but yet again, not when you're supposed to be active on the floor selling for our crafters. If there were no visits for the day, type in none. If there were, complete as follows. The name is obviously the name of the person who has visited your store. And then the reason for the visit, again, is in ACPA. So there is a drop-down box with a number of options. And you would highlight and select the appropriate reason. And then your time in and your time out, again, will be the actual time of arrival and the actual time of departure. So let's say in this instance, Vera visited your store and she arrived at 20:10, so it would be 10:20, and she left at 1:45. It would be 13:45. And it was a general store visit. Then you will say Michael visited your store, and the reason was worked with the team in the store. So we will find worked in the store with the team and click on it, and he arrived at 8:30, so it's 08 colon 30, and he left at 4:30, so that would be 16 colon 30. Another example would be maybe Darren was in your store and he held meetings with crafters. So let's find held meetings with crafters, and he arrived at 8:47, so it's 08 colon 47, and he left at 3:30, 15 colon 30. And another example, let's say Gerald, he was in your store to conduct stock takes and use the scroll bar on the right hand side here to conduct stock takes. And he arrived at 22:09 or 8:42, sorry, 08 colon 42, and he left at 23 minutes past 12, so it will be 12 colon 23. That is it, the day end complete. Make sure that you save your file. It is actually a good idea to save your file regularly as soon as you've come in and completed certain sections of the report. Now you are ready to email the report, so you will scroll back to the top of the report. In Outlook, click on New Email, which is on the top right left-hand corner. In the to box, you will type in the email address, and for the day end, you use the day end email address for the relevant region. So it will be dayend.pta@craftersmarket.co.za for the stores in Pretoria, and all the relevant personnel who are to receive the day end report for a Pretoria store will automatically receive the email. For Johannesburg stores, it will be dayend.jhb@craftersmarket.co.za, and for the Mpumalanga stores, it will be dayend.mp@craftersmarket.co.za. In this case, we will send the day end to the Pretoria email address because Colonnade falls in the Pretoria region. In the subject block, you will type the subject as day end report space dash space. The code for the store in this case will be Colonnade, KOL in capitals, space dash space, and then the date as day, so it's 20/month 01, and the year 2016. In the body of the email, you will paste the day end report as a picture, and this is how to do it. You toggle back to the daily store reports, place the cursor on cell B2, and highlight all the cells between the red outline. That is from cell B2 down to cell R77. And there are two ways of doing this. Either left click on the mouse and hold down the left click button and scroll all the way down to row 77 and across to column R. Or the other way to do it is to place your cursor on B2, hold down the Shift key on the keyboard, and then scroll down to row 77, and then scroll across to column R. With the area highlighted, right click, select copy, toggle back to your Outlook to the email that you've prepared, and in the first line on the body of the email, you will right click and you will paste as a picture. Make sure that all the attachments are attached as noted in the block at the top of the day end report, and click send. Make sure that your email is sent and appears in your sent items before you leave the store. It is imperative that the day end report is sent at night and not left over to the next day. Toggle back to the daily store reports file and save yet again, and close down your file by clicking on the X on the top right hand corner. Now, one last note on this tutorial is the next day when you come to start filling in all the information for your daily day end report, ensure that all the previous day's information has been deleted or cleared out. So, for example, we shall take out Billy Bob and just press delete, the date, the center updates, maintenance issues. You may leave some of them if they have not been resolved yet. Obviously your refunds you will take out again, and you just highlight the section and click on delete. The crafters who stocked up will be deleted, and notice how I just highlight the area and click delete. The same for the crafters who joined today, the stock requests that were sent, because obviously you don't send them again the next day. The crafters who've left, once they've left, and all your staff, but leave the names and the rest gets deleted, and whoever the area managers or senior management also gets cleared. Go back to the top of the report, again click save and close down your report by clicking the X on the top right hand corner, and close down your folder. And that is the way to fill in the day end report.